Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. BlueDragonFive here with a simply dazzling installment of Disney Debates in 2D. Because sometimes, folks, Disney, much as we love it, forces us to draw a line, in this case, in pencil. Tonight's roster of hand-picked, hand-drawn topics include the following. Best film from the Golden Walt era, best 80s Disney film, and of course, best source, emphasis on source, best source of a live-action Disney remake. All presented in splendid, splendid 2D. So grab your pens and paper and all aboard the drawing boards to a whole new world of possibilities limited by the imagination as we enter our arena of animation. In this corner, president of the Powerline fan club and a strong sense of Ohana, bound by this one. He just can't wait to be king, but will he earn it? It's Tiki!
They call me Mr. Pig!
I've always hated that line.
Really?
And
that line always got a chuckle out of me. I actually remember rewinding the VHS and replaying that scene as a kid.
Sidney Poitier references aside, can I get back to introducing people?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. And in the opposing corner, a living nightmare, especially around the holidays. A Renaissance man, when he shows up. Question of the night, will he be prepared? Let's find out. It's Sandy Claus!
Hello.
That's what they call him.
And by my side, filling the role of co-host and advisor, a Zazu, if you will, it's Jacob Wile!
I am Dragon's Major Domo.
Fellas, how are we doing tonight?
Well, folks, first of all, I'm doing good, Dragon. I just want to lay out the scene here. This might very well be the very last Disney debate that we do live. I mean, suffice to say, there will be at least one a month going forward, but Hangouts is ending. Hangouts is going away at the end of the month, and so this is kind of a bittersweet one, Dragon. This is a bittersweet one. I've had so much fun on these Disney debates, and I'll continue to have a lot of fun on them with you guys. Honestly, I think it's one of the best sources of bonding us together. I feel like it's a great kind of exercise in friendship. The fact that we can be so harsh with each other and yet still come out still friends on the other side of it. So I'm sorry, I don't mean to get all sentimental here, but I'm feeling a little misty-eyed. I want to thank Sandy and Jacob for joining us so late on this occasion because I had to go see Lion King tonight. So let's get things rolling, Dragon.
Right.
I think it's fair to say this time winner takes all.
Sure.
Anyways.
I mean, honestly, I think the only fair way to do that would be if we had everyone who's actually won a round, which I think at this point is all three of us. We've all won at least one of them. And then maybe have someone impartial, I don't know, let's say a monkey or something, judge it. I would say that's the only fair way to do a winner-take-all thing.
For any newcomers, we're not just saying a random monkey. We're talking about our other associate by the name of Monkey, just for any...
Or
that monkey over there.
Just bring in a random monkey from the zoo, and he'll judge it for us.
A monkey!
To quote Toy Story, we need more monkeys!
All right, so Dragon, let's go through the format really quick.
All right, folks, a little refresher for those playing the home game. Going to keep it brief, going to keep it simple. Okay, we got 3 rounds, all in 2D. We're going to reveal, I'm going to go to the contestants here. They're going to reveal their pick. They're going to give an opening statement, pretty much say all the good stuff, kind of stake their claim for their debate and everything. And then it's a fight to the finish. My other little co-host here by the name of R2D2. When he speaks, I don't want to hear anything else. It means the round's in. He's a little round bell, if you will. At the end of 3 rounds, we offer what we like to offer traditionally here, the coin, or in this case, the 2D coin. Lands heads, you gain a point. Lands tails, you lose a point. Completely optional. You don't have to do it. I'll offer the coin at the end of 3 rounds. And for kind of a new thing, we've kind of added to the fray here. I've hidden an extra coin. I've used at random. I have hidden a spare coin, like a spare optional, kind of heads or tails option, in one of the initial 5 rounds. In one of the 3, it's going to be either in one of the 3 main rounds or in either of the first 2 speed round questions. The point being, within the first 5 questions we're going to be talking about here tonight, at the end of that round, again, I'm going to tease them mercilessly about it, bear in mind, but they may have a chance to kind of buy back the point they've either won or lost, or like gain a point, basically get an advantage or risk it in an additional turn than just having to wait till the end of 3 rounds.
They could potentially lose 2 points to this system.
Of course, very possible. So, of course, overall we're playing to 5 points once we get to the speed round. Basically, whoever gets the 5 points first. Live audience, again, this is like the last time for a while. Optimistically for a while. Maybe let's not say to the end of time here. This is last time for a while. You'll be able to kind of share your thoughts, cast your vote, and have it kind of count for something. Here we'll shout you out, and by all means, you could decide the fate of these 2 schlubs. Ooh. Guys, I gotta ask in closing here, do you understand these rules as I have explained them here to both of you this fine evening?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, verbal confirmation for the win. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Verbal confirmation.
Verbal confirmation. All right. So to the randomizer. Okay, of course, like Vegas here, folks, put in alphabetical order. Find out who goes first.
Mm.
All
All right. I'm
first.
up for it.
That said, let's go into round 1. Round numero uno, the full question: what is the best film from the golden Walt Disney era? As in, like, a film Walt was heavily involved with, so roughly, not counting the package films, let's say from Snow White to Bambi.
So the first 5, essentially.
In essence, yes. Basically, that 40s kind of the 40s Walt involved era. That was kind of what the parameters were for this one.
So it wouldn't be like any of the stuff into the 60s.
No, not the 60s.
No, not even into the 50s. It's primarily Snow White, Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, Bambi. Those are the 5 options.
Yeah.
Ah.
All
right. So I went ahead and picked Walt Disney's artistic magnus opus, Fantasia.
And I picked... Wait, I thought you picked Pinocchio.
Mm-mm.
You better be joking right now.
I thought I was making that. No, I guess I must have been making that up. I really did think it was Pinocchio. I chose Bambi, another masterpiece.
I swear to God, I didn't pick Pinocchio, Sandy. I picked Fantasia.
I was probably thinking of other Disney films when you mentioned Fantasia around that time. Pinocchio popped into my head. I don't know.
All right. Well, I hope you're ready for this, man.
I am. Trust me.
Okay.
All right, guys. Opening statements. Tiki, whenever you're ready.
All right. I'm just going to make it short and sweet here. There's no movie. There's no film, let alone a Disney film, let alone an animated film. There is no film in the history of cinema with more artistic merit to it than Fantasia. Fantasia might not have narrative structure to it, but I think that makes it an even bolder choice, even, especially that early on in animation's infancy. Frankly, there's never going to be anything that comes along that's going to be even remotely like Fantasia. It's one in its own. It's a towering masterpiece of an achievement. It was one of my least favorite Disney movies as a kid, but by all means, as an adult, it is easily a go-to pick for me. In terms of, if I'm in the mood to watch some classic Disney animation, this is what I'm going to put on. It flows from scene to scene incredibly well. It's got an amazing amount of iconic moments in it. Each and every sequence, there's not a dull sequence in the bunch. I think Fantasia is just a towering, towering masterpiece in the genre, in the artistic medium of film as a whole, let alone any sort of genre parameters.
Okay. Sandy.
In 1923, Sultan released Bambi, a book about little deer in the woods living his life growing up. In 1942, Walt Disney adapted this classic book into even more classic film. This movie, wow, guys, no other movie I've seen from Disney has so much, or at least not from this classic era, this golden age of era of the Walt Disney Company, has this much heart and power and color and emotion to it as Bambi. Bambi's is just it's one in a million. The book, it's not regarded as, it's not like a fairy tale like what those other films were at the time. This was a little bit more unconventional, and I think that worked really, really well in Disney's favor. They have some absolutely classic, unforgettably memorable characters in this movie. Of course, we all know how emotional this piece gets, and just how incredibly accurate it is, even down to the details of the artist recreating the movements of real deer in the studio. It's just absolutely amazing, the level of artistic imagination and scope that the company went to make this film feel as true and powerful as they possibly could, and they delivered very, very well.
All right.
All right, boys, fight it out.
Tiki, let me just say, Fantasia is kind of a mess of a movie. It's beautiful, it's artistic. There's a lot of great music, but there's no story. It doesn't really go anywhere. It's just a big assortment of different ideas the company had at the time, and it's not, no one really, people remember it, but they can't really tell you. People don't go back and watch it like they do Bambi. Okay, Bambi is a classic.
Oh, I beg to differ on that one, sir. I like Bambi. I don't know about the circles you're running in, but to me, Bambi, the one thing that Bambi's known for, two things. I'll give it two things. All right. It's known for, like you said, the very, very marketable characters of Thumper and, to a lesser extent, Flower. And, of course, it's known for Bambi's mom. She's dead. But honestly, there's so much of Bambi that just doesn't strike a chord with the general consciousness. I feel like it's a movie of iconic moments, but I feel like the iconic moments in Bambi are few and far between. We've got a lot of stuff.
I beg to differ. I beg to differ, sir.
Okay, well, I'm just saying we've got a lot of stuff in Bambi where it's just kind of like Bambi meandering around, like he's ice skating, he's, wandering around in the forest with his mother. Mm-hmm. Of course, we have the little April shower sequence and all that. Mm-hmm. And it's nice, it's pleasant, but I feel like Fantasia just strikes such a high at all times. Like, I really don't feel like there's ever a dull moment in Fantasia. Fantasia might not have a story, but it takes you on a journey, sir. It takes you, like, it does have an arc to it. It really does. It goes from, I feel like in Fantasia, the first half of it is all about kind of like our relationship with nature, which, we see in the Nutcracker Suite, and we see in stuff like the Rite of Spring. And then as we transition, we get kind of like a faith-based message with the Bald Mountain stuff. And I just think like the whole idea of Fantasia, there's like so many different ideas at play there, from a classical story in The Sorcerer's Apprentice to like literally the beginnings of life itself in the Rite of Spring. We play around with Greek mythology in the Pastoral Symphony. We have some iconic dancing animals and like Squatch and Stretch animation in Night of the Hours. We have an instantly iconic villain in Night on Bald Mountain. I mean, I'm going through all this. It's like, there's nothing. Like Fantasia, there's absolutely no segment of that movie. Like, yeah, it's chopped up for sure, but every single segment of that movie is a home run. And honestly, every single moment of that movie is kind of a home run from an artistic point of view.
Let me just say, to refer back to something that Bill Melendez, who was a very long time Snoopy animator back in the day, he worked on Fantasia, and he did not have a very good experience with it. He was very kind of distraught that he was basically being paid the amount he was to be drawing centaurs and whatever else for a film that didn't even do that well at that time. And of course, that doesn't really matter now. It's fine now, but
You want me to list other films that didn't do that well?
Bambi! As I just said, that doesn't matter because they're both classics.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
But it doesn't matter with Bambi if every scene's not a home run, okay? Because with Fantasia, like you said, every scene is not a home run. That's not what makes a really great movie, okay? It's about how it makes you feel. The emotion behind it, the power behind it, the story, all right? That's what makes a really, really good movie. If you have a good story, then you usually have a pretty good movie, all right? I think that goes without saying. With Fantasia, it's a nice little piece to watch, you know, if you have... Put on some background noise. The music is great. The animation is really well done.
And some good movie.
The segments are interesting. They don't really make a whole lot of sense. I can't imagine there are too many kids out there who would really be absolutely enthralled with the imagery.
If you were a weird art kid like me, you'd absolutely be enthralled with it. I think there's a certain subset of kids.
The thing is that most kids are not weird art kids, though. It's the long.
But do you really think that most? I honestly think there's more to get out of Fantasia for kids in terms of like the variety of stuff that they're getting. They're getting dinosaurs. They're getting devils. They're getting a Mickey Mouse cartoon. They're getting classic Squatch and Stretch animation. Whereas with Bambi, what are they getting? They're getting like fucking like beautifully rendered backgrounds, but that's about it. Bambi is a movie.
No, the children are being exposed to what great storytelling is. All right, this was an amazing book. I read the book. All right, I've seen the movie many times. I love.
Did you really? The book apparently gets really dark.
Oh yeah, it does get very, very dark.
Anyway,
I have one of the original
Bambi's mom. How dark does it get?
I read the original book. I have one.
I'm pretty sure Bambi is the only character left standing at the end of it. I'm not even making that up. Anyway.
It's been a very long time, but I have read the book. Anyways, Walt Disney and his company adapted that book to the screen in the most perfect way. There's no better way to do it because it's a movie about deer and animals in the forest. You know, you're not going to have big action sequences and all these amazing different things, which there are big action sequences in this. And there are very just hard-hitting emotional moments that are really, really difficult to capture in animation field, in live action field, just in general. In the film medium, these emotions they have in this film, many of them are difficult to capture. It involves so many different things from the feelings of love to sadness to happiness to birth to death, all these different things. I mean, and it all ties it together. It all ties it together really, really beautifully in this wonderful compact movie. A very beautiful story about a deer growing up and having just this beautiful life, but it doesn't skimp around the edges when it comes to the downsides of being a little deer in the forest.
I mean, I just don't necessarily, all that might be true, but I just don't necessarily think the film has a great flow to it. I mean, it's like we have the infamous cut between
boy, you want to talk about flow and Fantasia, man.
Hold on, I let you finish your point. Let me finish my point.
Yeah, of course.
We have that infamous cut in Bambi where it's like your mother can't be with you anymore. And then what's the next thing we see? This ages so bad. Fa la la da 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 twit twittity da 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 fa la la fa la la fa la la. No. And honestly, Sandy, stuff like that is, I hate to say it, but stuff like that is kind of all over Bambi. Bambi is a very saccharine, very sugary kind of movie where, I mean, it's like, if you like cute little animals frolicking around a forest for a lot of the screen time, that's my problem with Bambi. It's like Bambi does have compelling elements to it. I just feel like it takes forever to get to the compelling elements. And then even when compelling stuff does happen, then we have to break again and listen to a freaking frolicking in the rain song. And I don't know, in terms of Fantasia, let's talk about the flow of Fantasia, because you're not giving it enough credit. Fantasia is meant to be an experience. Fantasia is meant to be a night at the theater. That's why you have Deems Taylor. That's why you have the orchestra tuning up at the beginning. It's meant to simulate going to an orchestra and seeing and, you know, just being I'm honestly getting kind of chills just talking about it, because I think it's such an ambitious and cool idea for a film. Just the idea that it's like it's the only movie, it's the only film that aims to replicate the experience of being at a concert hall and seeing a grand symphony orchestra and the images in your mind that might conjure up. And that's why the flow of Fantasia works beautifully well. And like I said, I think for every Rite of Spring, Fantasia evens it out with a Dance of the Hours or a Sorcerer's Apprentice. You know what I mean? It's like for every night on Bald Mountain, we have a Nutcracker Suite. I just think there's so much variety in Fantasia, and it all just comes together. It's curated beautifully.
I know what you mean. Now, let me say this, though. Bambi was the only film like it in its point in time. You had stuff like Fantasia. You had colorful little floating fairies and things like that. You had that at that point in time, all right? Disney had done stuff like that before. Disney had never done anything. No one had ever seen anything like Bambi before. Going back to Snow White, you know, people think, oh, I know, I don't want to see an hour-long movie about animated characters. Going back to jumping up to Bambi in the 40s, it's an animated movie with animated characters, but it's with animals who have, like Bambi, the deer in the movie, a bunch of animals.
I mean, I'm sorry,
have very realistic like movements. It was like nothing anyone had ever seen before. It was very ambitious. I think they pulled it off very, very well for the resources they had, and for the different elements that the book had, adapting those things to the screen. I think they did a marvelous job, and I think that it stands even today as a very, very solid story. Even if some of the pacing is a little bit wonky here and there, I mean, you can't get much better with pacing in Fantasia. It's plain and simple. But anyways. Point being, Bambi was like nothing else anyone had ever seen at that point in time, whereas Fantasia.
All right, okay. All right, guys. Put simply, this one I commend you both on a really excellent first round here. I think it's almost like a Pong game with the point kind of going from person to person here. As in, oh man, these guys. I was swayed a number of times during this. I really was. I was in one camp and I was going to bounce back to the other camp. At the end of the day, and this is initially it was a tough one to call, but at the end I think I kind of know exactly where I'm leaning here. At the end of the day, I think you both defended your picks very well. But Sandy, I got to tell you, I felt towards the end, towards the second half to the end, you got a little repetitious with basically saying, it's got animals, man. It's well rendered forestry. It's a little bit of that. And the main that's a secondary reason. The main reason is you really didn't have that many dings against Fantasia, and part of that's not your fault because Tiki right out the gate he kind of covered all that within his opening statement. He came really prepared with the opening statement, and you both had solid opening statements. I just feel Tiki kind of had a strategy built into the whole Fantasia argument. And again, I think Sandy was selling me on Story of Bambi. He was selling me on kind of I was really in Bambi's corner for a large portion. It's I didn't think I was going to be based on how strong Tiki's opening was, but again, at the end of the day, it's just I'm giving the point to Tiki for the first round.
Well, I appreciate the compliment, Dragon. I mean, none of that was scripted either. It's all off the cuff. So thank you.
All right,
Jacob, what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I mean,
I'm sorry, Jacob. I meant to defer to you first. Sorry, I just wrapped up in it. What do you think?
Well, I mean, basically, they all pretty much raised valid points. I mean, I will agree that Sandy didn't really ding Fantasia as much as he could have. I mean, there's plenty. I mean, as much as I love Fantasia, and I probably do like it more than Bambi, there's plenty of things to say about Fantasia that you could.
For reference, when it comes to Fantasia, the Achilles heel is the Pastoral Symphony. Like every other segment of Fantasia is virtually perfect outside the Pastoral Symphony. Anyways.
One thing I will give Sandy major points on those. Again, that was a sweet Bill Melendez reference. It didn't get you anywhere, but it was a sweet reference all the same.
Reference. Yeah, that was a good pull.
Yeah,
I don't think it got you anywhere, but I appreciate it.
I knew he worked for Disney. I never knew it was on Fantasia.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
the
he
old
worked-
satyr story? I'm glad they brought that up.
Oh yeah.
Heck, Chuck Jones did some uncredited work on Sleeping Beauty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Melendez was not a fan of Disney in the slightest.
Oh, he wasn't. I've heard the stories.
Bambi was a really good pick because I feel like, honestly, out of the five, Bambi is the best mix of artistry and storytelling.
And I think it was actually Walt's favorite movie too.
Probably at least until Mary Poppins.
All right.
All right. Anyways,
Wait a
Dragon.
minute. Yeah.
Keys.
Okay, let's see. Okay, guys, let me check the cushion. Well, hold on a second, guys. Before we move on to the round here, I got to check and see if we have anything. I'm checking the cushions here. Wait a minute. Oh, let's see. I've got something here. It's yeah. Oh wait, no, sorry guys. It's a button that fell off my judge's robe. Sorry, guys. False alarm. Let's move on to round two.
Oh my god!
You're gonna do that every round.
For every round, folks, and he's just gonna get more and more elaborate with it.
Possibly.
But by the end of it, it's gonna like his rant's gonna be like 5 minutes long, and then it's gonna be like 5 minutes long. He's like, nope, sorry, it's just another button.
All right, so Jacob, I want to give you major props for this logo, dude. This looks sweet.
Well, thank you. I mean, shout out to him. Well, thank you for that. And I actually, man, I accomplished it by screenshotting a website generator for this.
Nice.
All right. So, as you can probably tell by our excellent logo here, by excellent little kind of round card here.
Jacob, switch.
Jacob, you're on, man.
Come in.
Of course, folks, we're bringing this all to you in glorious 2D. Let's revel in that for a mere moment. I mean, 2D. I mean, let's not go to the theater tonight. Let's bask in the past, if you will. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
Okay, Jacob is all right. Okay, we're all good.
That's
sure
exactly what I was afraid of, anyways.
I just want to make sure Jacob's okay. We're sharing here. Okay, anyway, so as you can tell by the round card,
Just share on your end until I need to get to the randomizer.
I'm seeing it. We're all good right now. It's all fine. Anyway, so folks, of course, as you can tell by our generously provided round card here, this question is in honor of Stranger Things season 3 that premiered this month. Of course, in time for the 4th of July, and of course, very summer themed Stranger Things. Question is, what is the best 80s Disney movie? As in a movie released within the 1980s period of Disney. Of course, a very tumultuous period, by the way.
Hey, Tiki, is the main screen locked on Jacob's?
Yeah, it is. I checked.
It is?
We're
Okay.
all good.
Wait, is what?
Yeah, it's all good. Tiki, never mind. It's all good. We're all fine. All right. Who has what?
Okay, I have got the 1981 cult classic, The Fox and the Hound.
Fox and the Hound.
And I have got over here The Little Mermaid from 1989. Another huge classic.
Can't call it a cult classic, though.
It's more than a cult classic. It's widely regarded as one of the best animated films. All
right. Save it for the debate.
Anyway, let's get into the opening statements, starting with Tiki.
Okay, so The Fox and the Hound is just it's a stunning movie. Now, in terms of animation and songs, I'm sure that Sandy's got a leg up on me in that department.
Oh, yeah.
But in terms of just the actual pathos of the story, honestly, I feel like The Fox and the Hound is a devastating story that really doesn't pull any punches in terms of delivering its message. I think today, in this day and age, the story just resonates more than ever of friends from different walks of lives and growing up and seeing what seeing how their walks of life kind of come to define them as adults. I mean, that is some powerful stuff. I mean, just that alone, I think, makes The Fox and the Hound the best Disney movie of the 80s, because I feel like it's the 80s Disney movie with by far the most substance to it. And importantly, it also started the careers of both Don Bluth and Tim Burton. I don't want to say it started Don Bluth's career, but Don Bluth did work on this movie, as did Tim Burton. Tim Burton was one of the main animators on this movie. So it was, in spite of The Little Mermaid obviously being a much bigger deal in terms of the overall landscape of Disney, I feel like this film was a big jumping off point for a lot of important people in the Disney company to come. And it was also by far the most thematically and just conceptually resonant of the 1980s Disney films. And I think out of all the 1980s Disney films, it's the one that's held up the best. And it's the one that we should put on a pedestal and make our kids watch, because in this current day and age of, really, really tense political climates and whatnot, I think The Fox and the Hound is a really important movie. All right.
Sandy.
The Little Mermaid is just it's just a fantastic film. Everything down to each and every song, to the animation, to the colors they choose for the underwater specifically the underwater segments, because they had never done a film that was almost entirely underwater. So the way they pull it off is just absolutely terrific. Let's not forget to mention this was the last cell animated Disney movie ever created. So it has that going for it as well, that wonderful cell animated quality. Just the voice acting, just the direction, just the tone, the pacing, the villain. Ursula is by far one of the best Disney villains out there. Ariel, I feel, is also just, maybe it's just me, I feel she's one of the more grounded princesses, where she's not, no pun intended, of course, because she's a fish, but she feels like a much stronger princess than, say, Cinderella or Snow White or Sleeping Beauty. She has a lot more going for her. The story's really, really great. It has a really good message behind it. It's got a lot going for it. I feel that goes without saying, considering just the massive following it has surrounding it. Oh boy, it's a really terrific movie that can't go unnoticed if you're looking at these classic 80s Disney movies. And it kicked off the Renaissance too. Let's not forget about that. It kicked off the 90s, even though this was an 80s movie, it kicked off the 90s Renaissance of Disney masterpieces. So that cannot go unheard as well. I mean, this was just a jumping off point for a whole bunch of other great animated Disney classics.
All right, guys, fight it out.
All right, so it is a valid choice for sure, Sandy, and I think
the Hound is a weak sauce movie. Admit it.
Wait, what now? The Fox and the Hound is just straight up a weak sauce movie? Is that what you just said?
What I just said.
Oh man, shots fired. Well,
fighting words.
Yeah, that's fighting words there. Let me just circle back to that. I'm going to circle back around to that point, because it is in fact not a weak sauce movie. I very much disagree with that, or else I wouldn't have picked it. So Sandy, I think the problem with your pick is that while it is a valid pick, it's not something that I'm going to be like, oh, that you shouldn't have been able to choose that. I do think that The Little Mermaid is kind of disattached from the rest of the 80s Disney movies, because when I think 80s Disney, I don't The Little Mermaid is technically an 80s movie, but it lives so much in that 90s Disney Renaissance, like Howard Ashman, Broadway style. So when I think 80s Disney, I think of the weird projects. I think of, the Great Mouse Detective and the Black Cauldron and Oliver and Company and Fox and the Hound. And honestly, that's where my bread and butter is. Like, Little Mermaid's a fine movie. I just think the problem with Little Mermaid is that it's in this weird gray area where it's, it certainly does rise above some of the other films of the 80s, but by the same point, I think most of the other films that precede it, I mean, specifically the next three films, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King, all three of those in a row just one up Little Mermaid pretty consistently. And so in that regard, Little Mermaid is just kind of like this weird prototype. Don't want to run too many circles around you, Sandy. Go ahead.
You didn't run that?
Wow.
So why is Fox and the Hound a weak sauce movie, Sandy?
It's not a weak sauce movie. I just say that because I'm out of self-defense because it makes me cry.
Come on, Sandy. You were really strong in the first round, Sandy. Come on.
Oh, this is just sad.
It is sad. It makes me cry.
Tiki, one could say.
Looking at images online, it brings back memories of tears.
One could say it's so sad. All right. Am I going to have to feed Sandy points to keep him in the round? Because there are legitimate criticisms from Fox and the Hound. I mean, there really are.
I haven't seen it in such a long time. I forget how I felt about it. I've forgotten how I felt about it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a long time, but I think the social commentary of it really holds. Like, you can't beat the social commentary. Like, in this day and age of, people dividing themselves on skin color, like it's the goddamn 1960s again. It's like we really need a story like this. We really do.
I'm not giving up. I'm just saying I don't think there's much of a way I can win this round, considering how just vulnerable I am right now. The Little Mermaid is a really fantastic movie. It's got a lot going for it. It's a classic. It does live in that 90s area, but it is still an 80s movie without a doubt. It's so colorful. It has so much packed into it. It all works so well. Every scene is either really funny, or it's really sweet or moving, or sometimes scary. The ending, I think, is with Ursula is absolutely terrifying. I think it perfectly encapsulates Disney at its peak of horrifying imagery in animated movies. Gosh, man.
No, you're going good. You're going good.
I'm going good. I'm going good, but I'm not going good enough.
Go on, Sandy. Stab him in the heart. You can do it.
Come
on. The backgrounds are really great.
So you know what I like about the Fox and the Hound? It's a really laid back movie. Like, in spite of the intense social commentary that goes down in the movie, it really is just kind of a very slow paced, very meandering kind of like, all right, it's like we're gonna just spend a day on the farm and just see what goes on, and we're gonna chase this little hummingbird character. And I don't know, there's something like kind of inherently charming about that. Like, it really is kind of like a slice of life, if you will. Versus The Little Mermaid, where The Little Mermaid is, I don't want to get into this too much, but I don't necessarily think The Little Mermaid is aged particularly well in terms of just like, Ariel might be better than Cinderella. She might be more proactive, but really she still is just like completely obsessed with a dude that she's never met. And I mean, she is very problematic in that regard. Like we we're still a long way from Frozen in terms of like acknowledging those tropes for what they are.
The backgrounds are really nice.
Sandy, if you don't say one thing constructive right this instant, I am calling this round.
Oh no.
Fox and the Hound is a weak sauce movie.
Okay, I've called the round. That's it. Okay,
I'm sorry, guys. I don't have anything.
There's plenty of things. It's like you could say like the only
hunter wanted to kill the poor little fox. How can you not tear up?
I was literally trying to set you up with like, yeah, it's just a meandering movie that doesn't really go anywhere.
For
long stretches of time.
One of my main points. The only good thing to come out of that movie is really the bear scene. That's
you could have
about
made fun of the inner monologue stuff.
I haven't seen the movie in so long. I don't even know how it ends. All right,
the big bear scene. The whole I forget it.
That's the only good part of the movie, to be honest.
All right.
Anyway, okay. So point goes to Tiki. I'm not even gonna get into the reasons why. Okay. Point goes to Tiki. But Sandy, listen.
Hey, I am a sentimental person. Don't bash me for that. All right.
I mean, I'm not bashing you guys. Trust me, Little Mermaid is a far superior movie than Fox and the Hound. Like,
it really is, Sandy. I mean, this really shouldn't have been.
I mean, not every movie needs to have like a social commentary.
You ran out of gas on the backgrounds of the Little Mermaid, man.
So, the social commentary is important. It doesn't necessarily make it like a superior movie in regards to that.
I don't like Fox and the Hound's social commentary. I mean, that's a good element about it. It has that going for it, but it's just it's such a sweet movie. It's one of a kind.
And excluding Little Mermaid in this, I think my pick would have been The Great Mouse Detective, personally.
It's a good one.
It is really cool, I gotta be honest.
So, I'm really, really sorry, Dragon and Tiki. I'm sorry I couldn't be of more help bashing Fox and the Hound.
What's not even bash? You're just arguing. You're arguing against it. Okay, never mind. Okay. Well, regardless, Sandy.
Well, hey, the Fox and the Hound 2 sucks. All right, I'll say that.
Well, that much we can all agree on.
Anyway. Okay, but good news, though, Sandy. I have great news for you, though.
Yeah, what's that?
Right? You know what time it is?
Adventure time?
Or do you know what time related to what we're doing right now it is?
It's about 1 o'clock.
I'm gonna guess it's not time for Adventure Time, so it's coin flip time, right?
Wrong! It's time to move on to the next round!
Yeah, you get to mess with Dragon, you get to mess with us.
Alright, so let's move on to round number 3, which is a very fun round.
Hold on, give me 1 second, Dragon. Set it up, and I'm going to switch over the screen share to mine again so I can do the randomizer.
Well, Jake, let's get a little visual going here, though, so we can just show them what the thing is. Round number 3, as a tie-in to kind of our theme of this evening, which is kind of anti-live-action Disney remakes, kind of our general theme tonight. What is the best source of a live-action Disney remake? So, I'm going to be very clear with this, folks. So we're looking at the originals that have gotten remade, which means, we're asking the question, which original is better than the other original that's going to be picked here? So it's not a question of is the original better than the remake, because, that question more often than not kind of goes without saying, which one's better than that. So that's not the question we're asking. It's a question of, we're going to randomize. We're going to use the randomizer. We're going to have locked in all basically the picks that you see before you right now, folks. Of the films, basically the originals of things that have been remade, and they're going to be assigned to one of our two competitors here, and of course they're going to fight with what they have. Again, they have no idea what they're going to get here. It's just lady luck here. They're all in alphabetical order, doing like Vegas here. We're going to randomize and see who gets what, and we're going to do it twice. We're going to do it once, see what Tiki gets, and another time see what Sandy gets. Okay, we all clear on this?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Randomized.
Gotta say, I'm a little nervous here.
He's gonna get Mulan.
On, I can work with that. All right.
Oh, well, one thing before we do the other randomization, I just want to say also is the little caveat here. Some people might be wondering while it's kind of capped off where it is. Again, these are things that we have like definitive footage on. Like Mulan, we have a trailer of, so that's why Mulan's in the running, and like something like Lady and the Tramp or Lilo and Stitch, which again is supposed to be getting a remake, is not on the list because again we need footage on it, so we need something definitive. All right.
Well, Lady and the Tramp is confirmed to be coming to Disney Plus.
Well, I know that, but I'm saying we wanted footage on it though, so like something kind of tangible.
Fair enough.
Anyway, okay, let's hit it with Sandy.
Oh God. All right, Sandy, you better have some stuff to say about this, man, because Aladdin is a quality movie.
Oh,
All right, so just to make it clear as crystal here. So again, Tiki's gonna argue the original Mulan against Sandy arguing the original Aladdin. Like, which of these two movies is better? Okay.
All right. I think there's areas I can go with this.
These are actually two of my 3 favorite movies from the Renaissance.
They're both really good movies. I got to give them that.
Well, Mulan's a good movie. Aladdin's a great movie. So there's kind of.
Well, save it for the debate.
Okay. And should we go over like the? I mean, the folks can see the 10 movies in front of us right now. We're all good there, right?
Yeah.
All right, okay, so Tiki, just hit us with the here's where you're opening.
Let's get down to business to defeat Sandy.
Oh.
I'll lay out the reasons why Mulan's a better movie.
It's pretty good.
Aladdin's the most pathetic cash grab I've ever seen. And they overused Robin Williams too.
Oh.
Mr. Mulan is the best Disney tune. And done.
This is sing off. Do I have to make
you don't have to. Unless well, no, I don't want a chance. Just do it opening over.
That was Tiki. That was pretty dang good. I gotta admit.
Oh, thank you.
Was that off the fly?
Yeah, totally off the fly.
Wow.
I give him an 8.2 on that one.
The second
I've
verse
been
was a
taking
little.
improv, Sandy. What can I tell you?
The second verse was a little shaky, but the first verse, wow, that was.
Yeah, you should have run Genie in there instead. Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so
let me think of something.
Oh God, now you.
I'm not gonna embarrass myself. Mulan is it's as bland as white rice. Let's just say that. Aladdin's got some spice.
Whoa. Hold on. I do not support my co-host, my podcasting co-host. Sandy, that is a little offensive there.
One could say Sandy is coming across as racist.
Yeah, Sandy, that's not the best terminology.
White rice, really?
Yeah,
I love
white rice.
I love white rice, though. I love white rice.
You have friends who eat white rice, don't you?
Hey, I said I love white rice. All right, I love it. I eat it all the time.
All right.
In all seriousness, let Sandy make his opening.
A little dicey, but go ahead.
Aladdin is a really, really fantastic movie. It's got so much going for it. Everybody knows it. Robin Williams steals the show. Oh boy, Jafar is probably one of the best Disney villains, probably in like the top 3, top 4 there. Wow. Jasmine, I think, was the first Disney princess we got that was really kind of just wanted to do her own thing in the sense that she did not want to marry the typical prince. She wanted to do what she wanted to do. She wanted to go out and live life to the fullest, and she was a little bit disobedient there, and not in the typical Ariel sense that we see with the other princesses, but she was the first of her kind there for the Disney game. Got some great sidekicks here. Abu and Carpet. It's one of my favorite sidekicks of all time, like in movies ever. Carpet's one of my favorite all-time sidekicks. Really great story, fantastic music. Oh boy, the music in this movie is just it's you can't beat it. It's just so classic. It's so iconic. I'd have to argue it's even more iconic than Ariel or Beauty and the Beast. Wow. The color palette on this film also is just absolutely incredible. The animation, I think this was the second movie they did with computers and 2D animation. But oh boy, the animation is perfect. The performances are absolutely perfect. It's got too much going for it and not enough not going for it. It's one of a kind. It's a gem, and that's why the live action thing it didn't work. That's what I think. I don't think it worked. I think the animated film is far superior in nearly every way. I think it goes without saying. I'm going to start repeating myself here, so I'm just going to stop.
All right. Real quick before we start, a correction I wanted to make, because Sandy's kind of brought it up again here, is that just for the record, Sandy's referring to the CAP system. The CAP system, of course, is a kind of a vague correlation to eventually what would be Pixar. But let's just and focus on the CAP system. It's that CAPS is used within the 2D animated film. So Sandy, earlier points with Little Mermaid. From what I understand, Little Mermaid wasn't like the last cell animated movie. It was the last just purely, maybe the last. One of the less purely cell animated movies, I think is what you're getting at. I mean,
basically it was the last traditionally colored animated movie.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's just want to clarify
before they switched over to digital coloring.
Yeah, and just like add the coloring and basically adding kind of some kind of vague CG elements into the piece, like like the Stampede scene, the Lion King, and vice versa. Like we've had that in Beauty and the Beast, the ballroom shot, that sort of stuff. Anyways, want to clarify that. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Right out.
Okay, so I'm going to basically use the same strategy that I used last time.
You're not going to sing again, are you?
No, I mean the same strategy that I used for the last debate.
Okay, go on.
Mulan is a wildly empowering and socially and culturally empowering movie. And Aladdin is like wildly racially insensitive in today's day and age. Like wildly.
Whoa, and Mulan's not?
No, it's not, sir. It really isn't. I feel like Mulan celebrates Chinese culture incredibly tastefully, whereas Aladdin just kind of shits all over Middle Eastern culture for the most part.
Not really.
Like, literally, we have Crazy Hakim's House of Manure, or whatever it is. Okay,
I mean,
look.
If you want to like get into the like defining racial cultures and stuff like that in Disney movies, I don't think it's a very good strategy there, Tiki. I mean, there's a lot that's you've got working against you. I mean,
okay, in the grand scheme of things, though, Aladdin's a good movie for sure. But the thing that I always make an argument for with Aladdin is that Aladdin was kind of a turning point, especially with Robin Williams. We all love Robin Williams. We all love the genie, yada, 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 sure. Robin Williams might be the reason why more professional voice actors don't get hired for mainstream animated movies nowadays. And honestly, I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying that, like, indirectly, it's one of the contributing factors. It caused a huge domino effect throughout the entire industry of everyone wanted to have their Robin Williams genie after that. It was like a white whale for animation studios. And, that kind of ballooned into DreamWorks wanting basically all their movies to have all celebrity voice actors. And I don't know. I feel like Aladdin, while a terrific movie in its own right, set some not so great precedents for future Disney and future animation. But one thing that I will give Mulan is that I honestly think Mulan, like, it really holds up, man. It really does. I feel like Mulan is one of those movies that just gets better with age. I feel like it's got a sense of nostalgia for sure, but it doesn't entirely just rely on nostalgia. Whereas Aladdin, one of the other strikes against Aladdin, I would say, is that there are a bunch of dated pop culture references in that movie that kids are just not going to get. That's not, I mean, I'm not saying that's terribly problematic, but I'm saying Mulan is a very timeless movie. It really is. And it's one of the most mature Disney movies. As much as I love I'll Make a Man Out of You, I think it was a smart call for the remake to not have music in it, because I think that Mulan really is kind of just this big, like, it's basically the closest thing that Disney animation has gotten to a war epic. And it takes itself damn seriously, both in terms of storytelling and in terms of cultural and political messages.
Okay, well, you've really got the politics of the movie down. But I mean, if you really want to go into a movie, have a really great fun time, not think about racial insecurities or politics of different worlds. Go in and watch Robin Williams and
totally
the Genie. Steal the screen. Have the best songs in the entire world. Have witness the growth of these characters and the stories and the things they go through.
Okay.
Just incredible villain. Oh boy.
Sandy,
boy. This movie is
Sandy, I will argue that your soundtrack is maybe more consistent than my soundtrack.
Better in every way, of course.
However, my soundtrack contains 2 goddamn bangers that just escalate beyond anything that's in your soundtrack.
Whoa.
No, I'll wager that I'll Make a Man Out of You. I'll Make a Man Out of You might be my favorite Disney song of the 90s. It really might be. I mean, it's like that song is like the Eye of the Tiger of Disney songs. It's like one of the most epic workout songs of all time. And the other one that I would wager to say is better than anything in Aladdin is Reflections. I think Reflections is quite honestly one of the best Disney Princess I Want songs of all time, because it's just an incredibly poignant and memorable sequence that's very intimate at the same time. I think both those songs, to me, it's kind of like a quality over quantity. Like, Aladdin has a quantity number of good songs. Mulan has masterpieces of songs.
Well, I think you're not giving Aladdin enough credit. Aladdin has quantity and quality, all right? And it's got the reviews to prove it, so there.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, songs like One Jump Ahead and Friend Like Me and Prince Ali, they're classics.
A whole new world, all right? A whole new world. That is like the Disney song. You go to Disneyland, that's all you hear. All right, that song is one of the most popular songs of modern culture.
Yeah, but I mean, what I'm saying is that I would wager that Reflections is A Whole New World might be more popular, but I think Reflections is the better song with the better songwriting and the better message.
A whole new world where Mulan sucks and Aladdin's king. A world where Robin Williams is blue with small red shoes. Makes me want to flam on Mulan's inferior reviews.
All right.
And I wrote that especially for that.
I don't think any of you win Tony anytime soon. I just want to get that in there.
Definitely don't quit your guys' day jobs.
Oh, shoot, I already did. Oh, crap. Okay.
Oh, Jesus. All right. Okay, let's talk about gender politics.
Let's not, because that's not why people go and see Disney movies. At least not back in the 1990s.
But Mulan has gender politics, and it's more relevant now than ever before.
Pardon my French, but who gives a shit?
A lot of people, Sandy. Most Democrats. That's
okay,
like half
that's about
the country.
Okay. I think I've heard enough, guys. All right.
Gender politics.
Tiki, you're
Dragon, should I sing again?
Okay. The round's over, guys. Okay,
I never got to the third verse.
Jacob, weigh in, quick.
Tiki was pulling a Sandy at the very end.
Oh God.
I mean, he was being more Sandy than Sandy, if you ask me. Gender politics.
Want me to sing one jump ahead of the review line? You
Sandy,
want me to
I will
sing that?
call this round and against your fear if you sing another bar.
In all honesty, though, I mean, I think Sandy more focused on the quality of the movie itself, while Tiki was more focused on the political and social side of things.
Keep it simple. I'm sorry, Jacob. Keep going.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't think. I mean, he didn't really level. Pretty much the only argument he had against Aladdin was like it's racist. It has quantity. That's pretty much all I heard from him.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, just to keep it simple, I concur with Jacob for the most part. I concur with him, and I'd vote in that favor as well. I would give the point to Sandy. So Sandy is on the board.
It's about time.
Yeah, just watch out for those pumpkin bombs. All right.
Now for the third verse.
Okay, no, sir. I will take the point away from your third verse. I'm not joking. I'm serious. Don't, no third verse.
There's no third verse, Dragon. Calm down.
I know. Okay.
Like I said, we're just dishing back all the times you mess with us.
All right, so guys, we're at the end of 3 rounds. Let's go for the 2D coin.
Wait. Are you going to reveal if the other coin was...
Okay, let me check for it. I'm looking for it. Looking between the cushions here. I got a little hand piggy bank. No, guys, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. It's not here yet. I don't know.
All right. Oh, boy.
Just some dust bunnies.
Yeah, just dust bunnies. I guess I'll call this one tumbleweed. All right. By the way, Jacob, we have visual again. I think you can stow it for a while.
All right.
All right. So I am opting to not flip the coin at this point in time.
All right.
I'll take a flip. I've got little to lose, so.
All right.
Well, you have a point, but
I know.
No, he does have.
oh,
Okay.
2-2.
All right, so he's got 2, and let's move on to the speed round. Of course, speed round, folks, goes of course 30-second opener, 15-second rebuttal. Just kind of whoever speaks first goes first, that sort of thing. Let me just put it this way: there are a few surprises in the speed round. Speaking of surprises, it brings us to the first surprise, where guys, you won't believe it. I found something at my feet just now. Oh my goodness! It's the coin. It's the second coin. I was looking in the wrong place after that third round. Here it is. So let's go back to the coin. Let's see, guys. Who's feeling bold? Who wants to let it ride? Who wants to get crazy tonight?
Well, wait a minute. I thought the coin went to the person who won the round that it's attached to.
Well, are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure that's how it went.
Yeah, that's how we did it last time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I will offer it then to Sandy. Do you want to flip again?
You know what? I'm gonna get crazy. It's the last time we're gonna do this. I'm gonna get crazy with it.
Oh no! No.
Again, saying lie for a while. This means like the last time. Okay.
Getting crazy tonight.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Fortune favors the Sandys. Okay.
3-2.
Yo,
lane to 5. So this could potentially be over rather quickly. Oh boy.
All right. Okay. We ready for the speed round, guys?
Yeah, this is interesting. This is a turn of events here.
Pulling some genie magic on you now, Tiki.
Oh god.
All right. Okay. First one, a little topical here. Best scene. Remember, whoever speaks first goes first. Best scene from the original Lion King.
Ooh. Circle of Life.
Oh. Circle of Life.
Landy. I mean, almost every scene's a knockout.
Well, almost every scene.
Just gotta let me ponder this for a moment. How about that scene with the lion in it? That was a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Um,
The king was nice too.
I'm gonna go with the scene where Mufasa is talking to Simba when he's a little kid, right after the elephant graveyard battle.
All right.
Okay. The bonding moment.
My,
Right.
I'll say my personal one after the round's over.
All right. Okay.
Okay. So I said first. I'll go first. Circle of Life is the most epic movie opening of all time. Of all time. I mean, we have that majestic sun rising shot. We have the iconic I mean, it's a chill-inducing segment from beginning to end. The animation is incredible. It's instantly iconic. It's used in Broadway and other mediums. It's just a towering achievement.
Well, the bonding scene is not exactly as bombastic and big and amazing as the opening sequence to Lion King. It perfectly encapsulates the relationship that the father and son have in this movie, which is what keeps it all together. It's very, very important, and without it, no other scene in the movie would really have as strong an importance as it does in the final theatrical release. These characters are very, very important to one another, and it's very important that this scene exists within the context of the movie, or else it just wouldn't be a very good movie.
Two problems with your scene, Sandy. Number one, I feel like the switch from Mufasa being stern to cuddly and loving is way too quick. Number two, I feel like it telegraphs Mufasa's death way too much. It makes it way too obvious.
Wait, Mufasa dies?
Spoilers, man.
Spoilers for the nearly
Jacob's
20...
been waiting to see this for 25 years, and you've ruined it for him. I hope he's happy.
Spoilers for the nearly 25-year-old movie that I've seen like dozens of times.
Right, all right.
All right,
Actually,
okay.
15 seconds, right?
Yes,
It actually came out the year I was born.
A big problem with your scene, Tiki, all the animals are giving praise to this line that's just going to end up killing them. I'm just going to say that, right? That song turns it up a few notches more. It becomes pretty much ear rape. It's like, it's kind of annoying, I think.
Jacob, thoughts?
Okay, my personal favorite scene would probably be in the... if I'm going to say what I would choose first, it's Mufasa in the cloud scene. That's what I would have chosen.
Where are you leaning?
I think Tiki had a very solid opening with the stunning animation. And I think he also he also raised like one kind of valid point about the reconciliation scene. But I think Sandy also raised very good points about how about basically highlighting the dynamic between Simba and Mufasa is a very important scene. And though it might have telegraphed it, I mean, young people watching it might not even realize. And like, it was actually one of the first times like one of the main characters succeeded in killing the other. So it might not have, it was actually quite shocking for the time. So I mean, that's my own personal opinion. But
You had some good luck. Yeah, go on.
I think they both raised pretty solid arguments. My personal choice between the two would probably be, first, not necessarily based on arguments, my personal favorite scene should be A Circle of Life.
Well, based on the arguments, and Tiki did get some good points in there, but I feel Sandy was more consistent, and he kind of dinged him towards the end there with the hole in the Pride Rock of it all there. So I think I'm going to give the points to Sandy.
Yeah, they 4-2.
All right, 4-2. Okay, so if Sandy gets the next point, that's all she wrote, folks.
Yeah, that's a clean sweep then. Okay.
Not bad for someone who got all their points in the last question.
All right, Jacob, let me confer with you for a second here, okay? I got a big one. I got an ambitious question here. Should I go with the ambitious or should I go with the simple?
Yeah, but this could potentially be the last question, so why not go all out?
All right. You heard it here, folks. All right.
I mean, you can do whatever you want.
I know. So I kind of want to get the ambitious one in there too. I just wanted to make sure it's the call. Okay.
I mean, just in case Sandy does end up winning.
All right. Okay. Let's see if Sandy can earn that win. All right. Okay. So before I say the question, let me preface this is going to be an ambitious one here. So the winner of the last round, which in this case will be Sandy, is going to get first pick on this next one. Okay.
Mm.
You get first pick, and you're going to pick what your opponent gets. That's the gimmick of this one, guys. You're going to pick what your opponent gets. So bear that in mind. So you may not want to give your opponent like a really good choice on this one. You may want to try to screw him over. I'm just going to flirt that out there. You may. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You can be fair. You could be not fair. Whatever you want to do. So again, I'm just going to say the question now for the. So again, Sandy, you're going to pick what Tiki gets,
really
and Tiki.
don't like where this is going.
Oh boy.
What is the best later Renaissance film, as in from '94, like post Lion King to Tarzan, from Lion King to Tarzan, from '94 to '99?
Oh, please don't get me long again.
So you have 5 things to pick from, and I think Teague is going to indicate where he does not want you to pick. So again, it's your call. So it's Sandy, it's your power. What do you have? How do you want to treat Tiki? You pick what Tiki gets.
Which films count as post Renaissance or later?
Tarzan, Mulan, Hercules, Pocahontas, Hunchback.
Yes.
And by then, do some people technically also include Fantasia 2000?
Well, no, it's too. Well, yeah, there's some people. Again, we're focusing on like kind of the '90s.
I know. I don't. I'm just saying.
Oh, let's see. How merciful do I want to be?
Keep in mind what he. Keep in mind what
Keep
in mind what he'd also do to you.
Oh yeah, I know. So I choose what he gets, so I can assign him his.
Yes, you assign him what he gets, and of course, bear in mind you're going to be going up against it, so that's what you want to factor in.
Wait.
For what's
he assigns what I get, and then do I
you assign what he gets? Exactly. Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So like, tell him. So tell
Tiki,
him what he's.
Yeah. What's that?
So tell him the movie he should be defending.
Yep. Tiki, you really seem to love the politics of Mulan, so I'm going to give you that one, all right?
Oh, fuck you!
All right, but in the spirit of fairness, Sandy will have to go first. I want to make that clear. Sandy is going to have to go first, though.
Hercules.
Okay.
All right.
You're goddamn fucking crazy. No, I'm sorry, not Hercules, Pocahontas.
Well, he said Hercules. Jacob, what's your ruling? Do you want to give him Hercules? Or do you want to give him Pocahontas?
I mean, he did hesitate, but he did wait a few. Like, he did seem sure about Hercules, so it's up to. I'll let you decide on that one, Dragon.
God, I mean.
All right, fine. I'll go Hercules. It doesn't matter.
All right, okay, Sandy. Okay,
Pocahontas has been known to be a dark horse in these things before, anyways.
All right, so Sandy, you're going to start off with Hercules, then we'll go to Tiki with Mulan again. All right.
Just a bit of friendly interaction here. That this is nothing personal. It's just a matter of business.
Sandy, honestly, if it wasn't the last question, I would be more cool with this.
Is this the last question, Dragon?
Well, I mean, again, if you win, it's the last question. It depends on if you win or not.
Oh man,
So it's Hercules versus.
The thing is, Dragon, I just don't feel this is. I just don't feel. I feel like I'm being handed this point here because I get to pick what.
That's fine. Let's get the round over with. Sorry.
What
do you think, Dragon? Do you really think it's fair for a final?
Yeah.
Well, I gave you the option to be merciful, and you chose not to. I don't know what else to tell you. We're living in this now.
All right, let's do it.
Why?
Okay.
So why is Hercules the best?
So why is Hercules the best?
That's the question.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let me just tell you that Disney did a very interesting thing, stepping out of their usual comfort zone of the traditional animation style. What they did is they gave all these characters in this whole world a very abstract design. It's Hercules. They're going back to their more traditional roots of this old mythology type kind of stuff that we've seen before. It's very, very interesting. You have some very, very impactful, very great villain, very impactful characters, really great characters, great character building, great story building. The arc, the whole film is very great. The songs are absolutely incredible as well, very memorable.
Hercules is a mess of a movie that's completely riddled with plot holes. It's got tone issues up the wazoo. 1 minute Hercules and his dad are giving high fives. The next minute it's like, no, I forgot about Meg being dead and crushed on the column. No. And I just think it's just way all over the place. Whereas Mulan is a movie that knows what it wants to be. It knows that it wants to be this big epic war movie, and it succeeds in that, and everyone loves it for that.
When I go into a Disney movie, I don't want to see politics. I just want to sit there and have a good quality time. That's what Hercules provides for any audience. I can't say the same for Mulan. It's just a little bit too heavy on the political views there. It doesn't make for a very enjoyable time.
Okay, Mulan is an empowering movie. It's not a political movie. I think there's a big difference there. I think it's an incredibly empowering movie for women, but it's also a movie that men can watch and get into because of the awesome action and the really cool hero's journey arc.
Jacob, thoughts?
I mean, to put it short, I think Tiki raised more stronger points for Mulan than I think Cindy actually raised for Hercules, if you ask me.
Agreed. Tiki gets the point.
Yay.
All right.
Tiki, I'm going
All
to be fair with you. I'll let you have that one, all right?
Oh, okay, shut up. All right. I don't want to hear that.
All right, let's see. Okay. I gotta be honest. There is another Mulan related question. I'm gonna not do that one.
Oh,
Please no more Mulan.
I just wanted to say it for the record, just to show I'm not that cruel. All right. Okay. So let's see. Okay. Here's a good one. All right. Most underrated 2000s Disney film. Again, 2D 2000s Disney film.
Oh, fuck.
A bunch to pick from here, guys. Most underrated. Underrated being the operative word.
You know what? I'm gonna go. Oh, there's.
This is that underrated animated Disney 2000s film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Brother Bear.
Hey, Tiki, Brother Bear.
I can't believe I'm fucking doing Brother Bear as an argument, but let's do this.
And you're going first with it too.
I know.
That's Sandy.
There's a couple good ones.
There's a lot of good ones, honestly, and there's one that. Well, I guess in terms of underrated, Tiki made the choice he made. So okay.
Well, The Emperor's New Groove, obviously.
Okay, now you're. Well, I can't say very sure. You said Emperor's New Groove now. There we go.
And why?
No, I can't tell you. You'll find out.
You committed to it.
I would have either gone with your choice is locked in, but I would have gone with either Atlantis or Treasure Planet.
Me too. I would have gone with one of those two as well.
All right. Okay, can I go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Atlantis and Treasure Planet are valid choices, but I feel like those two both have valid fan bases to them. Brother Bear does not have a fan base. Brother Bear is a movie that nobody talks about. And it's not a wonderful movie. It's not an excellent movie. But I feel like there's enough in there that it should be talked about more, all right? Like, there's some really, really cool cultural stuff in there. There's some stunning 2D animation. Say what you will about Phil Collins, but his music works. It's a good movie.
The Emperor's New Groove is not underrated within the fan community. It's underrated within the Disney canon community. It's the Disney. I feel they have this really great property in their hands. They don't do a ton with it. It's a really fantastic movie. It's very funny. It's very meaningful. Has a great message behind it. I feel they could do a lot more than what they currently have, which is not very much. I mean, there's no merchandise. There was a pretty lackluster spinoff, but I feel they could do a lot more within the parks and things like that with this property.
I mean, to put simply, Emperor's New Groove might be the fan favorite Disney movie of this era, man. I mean, there are so many quotes, so many memes. It's a beloved movie by the fans, even if Disney doesn't do that much with it.
The topic was underrated Disney film, and they never said underrated by the fans or by the company. So I think it's very underrated within the company. Within company standards, they could do a lot more than what they have, and they have chose not to for whatever reasons are unclear. But it's
Jacob.
I kind of like how they took different angles with the whole underrated thing.
I'd like that too. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, not to wait on the argument. To be fair, Brother Bear really hasn't had much with much recognition within the company either.
Well, yeah. Although the statues, the statues are still up at California Adventure.
oh, that's right. That's right.
And so,
even though that area's themed to Up now, the statues are still there. Anyway.
Oh, I thought the statues were over by the hotel.
Yeah, they are. It's that area is kind of like directly like up against the hotel.
Okay, it's the big totem pole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that thing.
all right, so I think they both made very strong, compelling arguments. I mean, they both were like raised the fan base argument. I mean, it actually would have been nice to actually see like for each of them to like bring up counter arguments to for Sandy to mention the fact that Brother Bear wasn't popular within the company, or Tiki to mention pretty much the vice versa for Emperor's New Groove.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, I think overall, I think the arguments could have been stronger overall, but I mean, I might have to. I mean, where are you leaning, Dragon?
I'm leaning towards Tiki. I think I'm going to rule that way. Tiki gets the point, which means we're tied up, guys. I'm not just phoning that one in. I mean, literally, I think Tiki made. Basically, I think Sandy ran out of time on that one. It's not his fault. He just ran out of time, honestly. I think he was going somewhere with it, but just, you know.
I'm like, feeling oppressed, Dragon. I'm feeling oppressed.
All right. That means
you were inches apart.
That means that it's come down to a deadlock, guys. We're down to the last question, and this one is for all the marbles, just like it should be.
Well, okay, since someone keeps arguing the scope of like the last one we're doing, I might as well go big.
Can we just do the Milan? Okay, Dragon, we don't have to do the Milan question, but run by what it is.
You want to know what the Mulan question was?
I am very curious.
Oh, don't expect like the moon with it. It was just like which is the better film, Mulan or Lilo and Stitch?
Oh, fucking Lilo and Stitch, easily.
Well, yeah. Well, this is what you get for shooting down the Mulan question. All right.
All right.
Anyway, okay, that brings us, I guess. I guess we might as well just go out big, see where it goes. All right. The big was a heady one, guys. All right, just buckle up.
Oh boy.
What is the single greatest example of hand-drawn animation in Disney? Give me a sequence. Give me something, guys.
Oh, a sequence. A sequence, not a movie. A sequence.
Yeah, just like a bit of animation within a movie or within
the opening multiplane shot in Bambi.
All right, Tiki's got the multiplane Bambi.
Come on, Sandy.
I'm gonna take that wonderful overhead ballroom shot from Beauty and the Beast.
Wait, I call shenanigans.
I think I know. Okay, I know you're going with this. Tiki, tell them what the shenanigans are.
Well, I mean I feel like in order for this question to really have weight to it, I think both sequences should be traditionally hand drawn with no CGI enhancements to it.
Exactly. So, Sandy, you have to pick again.
The two characters were both hand drawn. That's what I'm referring to.
He means the ballroom was.
You emphasize the ballroom shot, and the ballroom shot is done via caps.
I mean, Sandy, if you really want to do that, it's fine. I'm just saying, like, it's.
All right, I'll
like,
choose another one. I'll see what I can find from
Okay.
the more classic Disney stuff. Just give me a second, all right? I just got to think here.
I mean, think back to more of the Walt era, man. Like, think back to
it's-
something from Fantasia or something.
I mean, I know what I'd choose.
All right, just give me a second here.
Or at least I've narrowed it down to 2.
There's one I already have just like blown in my mind, but we'll see if Sandy goes for it or not.
I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of them.
There's a lot. I mean, certainly.
I mean, heck, their first 40 almost 30.
Hey
like
guys,
40,
I'm trying
like
to
their first
think.
40
Go on.
movies
Okay,
were
hold it.
for
Let him
2D.
think. Let him think.
Oh man.
Oh.
I what was Tiki's option again?
The multi-plane
Oh.
shot with Bambi.
Oh,
The
yeah.
opening shot, the
Opening
pan through
shot.
the forest.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have one immediately popped in my head with that question.
What was your option? What was your idea, Jacob?
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna. I can't tell you.
Why would you? Don't tout it off then. Let him do it, then share what you got. All right.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm saying, for me, I'm not gonna give him what it is.
Okay, then just don't mention, please. I'm trying to think.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just, like, focus, Sandy. You can do it.
Thing is, I haven't seen so many of these movies in such a long time. I can't
Something
remember.
from Alice popping out at you, perhaps?
There are a lot of great scenes in Alice, but I mean, nothing really sticks out as wow. That looks incredible. As
Dance of the
from
Cards?
I mean, that's
All right. Perhaps I can give you a little. Yeah.
I'm just gonna go with the. Is it a scene or just a clip, like a shot?
Well, it can be anything. It can be like a moment, just any moment of animation. Again, even if you wanted to use something, if it includes caps, don't let it be like the big focus of caps. Like
this is a shot that I've always, or just a couple of shots that I've always thought really impressive. Actually, it's from March of the Cards. Alice's POV shot of the cards marching past her. It's the one I'm talking about. It's the ones of I think it's the aces.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
It's the black cards and they have the red backing on them.
Right.
I've always thought that was really interesting because I'll go with that, I guess. You guys know what I'm talking about, right?
Not really.
I mean, I don't know if Jacob and Dragon know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Uh,
I mean, you have to go with what really sticks out to you. So
Yeah, if that sticks out to you, that's. I mean, it's not like my moment is super iconic either. So
here. I'll just paste this link and I'll just timestamp in the chat, all right, so you guys can see it.
All right. Sorry about this, folks.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Go to 047 in this clip here.
Right. I wanna watch it too, just so I can.
Bear with us, folks.
From 047 on is my pick.
Wait, so you mean the spiral then? So when they're marching to the spiral?
Yeah, it's 047 on all the different colored cards and everything like that.
Okay.
Everything before that's pretty standard for.
Okay, I think I got it. All right.
You got it, Jacob?
Got a rough idea.
And this does not want to cooperate with me, but I think I know what you're talking
I
about.
think we get the point. I think we're all.
Let me just try this one more time.
There you go, spiral. Here we go. So, right, 47. About there, yeah.
Ah, screw it. I know what you're talking about. Oh,
There we go. That.
right. I don't know why YouTube's doing that, but whatever. Okay.
Anywho.
All right. So Bambi's opening shot is just a magnus opus of just multi-plane camera trickery and magic. It takes us into this environment in such a freaking immersive way. It is so long and so drawn out with so many details and so many colors and so many different like branches and leaves and trees and shades of light and puddles of water. It's brilliant.
Just the complexity of making all these different cards move in sync, and not. I mean, I don't think they duplicated any of the cells because they all have their own unique colors. But it looks like a very complex process, and it looks very very intricate. I can't imagine doing this hand by hand, considering all the tossing and turning these cards do, and just the way that because they're flat objects, but you have to draw them in 2D environment. So it's a very complex thing to do because it's
It's very interesting because this is a debate versus a environment versus character animation. So I feel like we both have valid points here. But for me, I just feel like the transformative quality of just immersing you into this world and just diving you headfirst, it can't be beat.
as far as introductions go, this is a very, very solid introduction to one of the strongest characters in the entire film, that being the Queen of Hearts. And it's very artful the way they've done this, and the animations. It's absolutely perfect here. It sticks out. It's one of the most memorable parts of the movie.
Jacob, where are you leaning?
Both definitely interesting picks to say the least. I'll give it that much. I mean, I'm not as familiar with the Alice in Wonderland shot as I am the one in Bambi.
I was afraid of.
But based on what you described, I mean, I get the rough idea of what you're going for, and admittedly, I mean, both of these scenes are quite interesting, and maybe yours has been more subtle in it, but both are kind of groundbreaking in their techniques. I mean, obviously Tiki's for like the environmental setup, and yours for like intricate character animation. So both of them are actually quite unique in a way. So, but I think in total, as much as I need to say this, I think Tiki made the stronger arguments overall. But that's just me. Dragon, what do you think?
I feel Tiki was solid in his opening, kind of the 30 seconds. Then the 15-second rebuttal, I don't feel he was that. I don't think he was that convincing. I feel Sandy was more consistent, and I feel he kind of saved himself with 15 seconds. So that's where I'm kind of up two minds here because I'm kind of leaning towards Sandy, but I'm just not sure.
I mean, you do agree. I mean, I think the main problem with Tiki's was like he spent an entire first half of his 15 seconds like saying like both of us have valid arguments.
True. That is true. Perhaps. All right. I guess, well, in that sense, Tiki probably didn't use his time that well. So in terms of just kind of how we, in terms of that 15, in terms of using that 15 seconds. I don't know. I feel Sandy argued. I think Sandy argued the animation a little bit more at the end of the day, where Tiki argued, kind of how it complements the film overall. And I mean, they're both. I think it's close, but I think I'm gonna have to rule Sandy.
All right.
You just don't want to give Sandy the win, Dragon.
No, it's all gonna gotta do the right thing here. Sandy gets the point. Therefore,
All right.
Then
Sandy, I gotta tell you, man, that was a really good fight.
Yeah, that was intense.
Yeah, I feel like that was one of the best debates we've had in a while, honestly.
Wait, it's over?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
yes,
won.
Sandy, it's over.
You won.
Did I win?
I'm regretting
Yes.
that point now. I really am. I just want to. Where's the time stone when you need it?
You won.
Wow, right.
Where's my? I'm going to change this robot for a quantum suit. But yes, Sandy, you've won. Congratulations.
I said I wanted to say what I would have gone with like Night on Bald Mountain or the Firebird Suite.
I was going to go with Part of Your World from Little Mermaid. That's what I would have gone with.
You know what? I realized that Pink Elephants was on the table after I suggested how March of the Cards, and I was like, why didn't I go with that? March of the Cards versus Pink Elephants would have been a really interesting showdown.
See, for me, I would have gone Glen Keane animation. Glen Keane just has sublime animation. Even going back to Fox and the Hound, which oddly enough, with Little Mermaid, Fox and the Hound, they both like Glen Keane got one of his starts with Fox and the Hound, and of course, kind of one of his most iconic things, Little Mermaid.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Glen Keane did the bear. He did the bear,
Yes.
didn't he?
Yeah, he did the bear. Basically, the climax, and I assume he did the bear, but it might have been another part of the scene. I'm just going to assume the bear. It was very impressive.
I think he.
Anyway,
I mean, he did a lot of work. I mean, he's also responsible for Tangled's existence too.
exactly. One of the titans and defenders of 2D animation, even the 3D venue, stressing for the 2D of it all. And folks, if we learned anything, Disney is an ever-changing thing, and it's something. Don't get me wrong, it's something to celebrate. But you know what? Sometimes we want Disney to avoid certain cash-ins at times. We should revel in the originals and the things that made the original special. We shouldn't just see it as I want to see it again, but I need to see it in a modern day context. I need to see it again, but we gotta change it up ever so slightly and end up having a movie that's kind of bloated and just kind of wait. That's longer than the original, yet doesn't add as much substance. And it's kind of a weird phenomenon. That's why we're kind of reveling in kind of the days of the past with kind of the hand-drawn era of Disney. So kind of what it is at the end of the day.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Ezra and Jacob, I really appreciate you guys staying up so late because, like I said, we would have done this earlier if I hadn't had to go see The Lion King. And folks, this might be the last live Disney debates for the time being, but rest assured, like I said, we will be continuing to do Disney debates as one of our flagship series here on the channel. They just might not be live for the immediate future. I'll say that. So, all right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night. See you later.
Watch the Fox and the Hound now.
It's been fun.
Gender politics.